Greetings. I am the Mage Mind, and I am here to help you level up your mind. Now, in this video, I'm going to be teaching you some tips that helped me personally in trying to enter a smoke-free lifestyle. Now, in my earlier video, I explained when mastering our inner RPG that the mind is split into three basic characters, which I will summarize quickly now. We have, of course, the hunter mind, who's best represented by the hind brain, and he could be summarized by the system or the character which looks after our feelings. Next, we have the warrior mind, the midbrain. This character, he's best represented by our actions. And finally, we have the mage mind, with whom you are watching this video. He's the one who is controlling our thoughts. Now, it is important that when we're going to break any bad habit, that we consider that actually all three of these systems, all three of these characters are addicted to that habit. And for this video, I will be specifically focusing on giving up smoking. Now, can be quite a challenge to give up smoking, and what you must understand is that all three of these characters have an addiction to smoking. In fact, there may even be a fourth character that you must consider, who is connected to your feelings and is part of the hunter mind. Now, this mind is not in your head and is probably best represented by the pack horse or the mule. He is another character within you, a very important one, a storage character if you like. Because there is in fact another brain, another part of your mind which sits here in your abdomen. About 1 million or so million different neurons connected all around your internal organs. And now many of you will know that this mind is addicted to cigarettes and smoking as well. If you've ever had the moment where you've had coffee, cigarette, and things go straight through, that is what this is controlling. So when this mind controls what is going in and what is going through, he may, after a cigarette, simply send you to the loo. It is a mind which also not only looks after what is going in and out, but it also looks after our feelings. It is where our feelings are held. So when I've got a gut feeling, it is actually here in the lower mind, which is part of the hunter. He's the beastmaster. He looks after all of our systems that we take for granted. And he has a second mind where he's storing energy and feelings here within us. Now, it is important to understand, firstly, when you think about smoking and your current habits, who is smoking at which cigarette you are having. Now, what I would advise you to do is write down all of the cigarettes that you have in a week or a day, and they can be categorized very simply. And I really want you, now if you don't want to write them down, you don't have a pen and paper, just think about them in your mind for a second. You maybe have a morning cigarette. You possibly have the after dinner cigarette. You possibly have the cigarette with coffee, cigarette with a beer, cigarette before you drive, cigarette after you drive to work. Perhaps you have a cigarette after an argument. Perhaps you have a cigarette after some pleasure. What is important to understand is when you write down all of those ones, there are different parts of the mind which are addicted to that particular cigarette that you are having. Now, why are you addicted to cigarettes? If you watch my earlier video, you'll know I would talk about a substance in the mind which is best represented by the role-playing version of mana. So when you smoke and you take the nicotine into your body, it acts as a better neurotransmitter than the body creates itself. So it's like taking fake mana. And what happens is your body becomes a little bit lazy and it stops making its own mana, it stops making its own chemicals because you've got the nicotine, which is just as good at passing signals throughout the body. So what happens is your mind stops making this substance and you end up with a low amount of natural mana. And what happens is when you've got low natural mana, you need the cigarette to replace it. It is a replenishment. And when you start your journey to a smoke-free environment or a smoke-free lifestyle, you must understand that it might be detrimental to do it all in one go because you're forcing your body then to fill in the resource gap. So I would personally recommend a slow and ease yourself into a smoke-free environment by simply giving up in 3 minds and not all at once. But whatever worked for me might not necessarily work for you. Now, it is also important to note that when you are taking on board the fake mana, as it were, that once your body is taking on that, the price is your health points. And your health points can slowly start to disappear. And you don't want that really in the long term. You want to be healthy. The price of a sharp mind and an easy resource of mana is ultimately going to be your health. Now, you may choose different reasons to focus on as to why you wish to enter a smoke-free lifestyle. Perhaps to appease a family member, perhaps your social circumstances have changed, but ultimately, personally, there is nothing better than the focusing on one's health as part of this journey. So, now I just want to reflect a little bit about what I made you think about earlier, about those cigarettes that you have throughout the day or throughout the week. If you see someone smoking on a TV show, you possibly go out and have a cigarette. It's suggestive. Maybe you have the scenario where you've just had a cigarette and your friend walks into the bar or into your home or into your smoking communal place and he starts to have a cigarette as well. You've literally just finished yours, but because your friend is now having a cigarette, you think, well, I'll just have one more and I will join him for the social experience. This cigarette is the first one you must give up. It is the easiest one to give up because it is the one simply controlled by the mage. It is your thoughts. It was a suggested cigarette. And there are many suggested cigarettes which we can quit first because really the mage and our thoughts are the easiest ones to let go of. It is the ones associated with deep feelings and continued actions that are much more difficult to let go. So once you've written down all of the cigarettes you have in the day or made a mental map of which ones you have throughout the day and which ones you have that are suggestions from others, I would suggest that you quit these ones first. Now, you stay strong. You tell your friend, I just had a cigarette, but I'll stay with you while you smoke yours. Or you just say to someone, I'm not really feeling this TV show right now. I don't want to watch the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves because he is smoking too much. Can we change the channel or watch a different movie? These suggested ones are the easiest for you to step out of your environment. On a night out with beers, just focus on the one that is most important to you and don't worry about the suggested ones from your social environment. These are the ones that you can control the easiest. Now, the hardest cigarettes to give up are those ones where you've got a deep feeling connected to them. Perhaps it's the morning one with a coffee, and that's your routine. And think about that feeling now when you arrive at your workplace, or before you leave for work, or as soon as you wake up in the morning, you go down and you start your morning ritual, you brew your coffee and you step outside or into your smoking area and you take that first one with your coffee. And it's got a very deep emotional feeling with it. It's a feeling of freedom or joy or relaxation. Focus on that feeling, because those feelings are the ones that are ingrained the hardest. And it is those which you are going to let go of the last. So once you've decided which cigarettes are your ultimate cigarettes, the best ones that you are enjoying the most, try to ease yourself into a scenario where you are just having that one. Because all of the other cigarettes, you don't really need them, but you do perhaps need these couple. You need this coffee one, you need this after dinner one, and you need this evening one. So maybe set it down to those 3 out of maybe 10 you are smoking a day. Which are the ones that are most dear to you? The feeling ones. Hold on to these ones for now and tell yourself, I will just have these 3. I will just have these 3, or I'll have these ones on this occasion as well. So perhaps at the weekend you're smoking more. Perhaps these are more difficult, where it's social with friends. Keep the ones that are dearest to you to start with, and let go of all of the other ones, the ones which are suggested thoughts. Because if you are on this journey to easing yourself to smoke free, these are the ones you can give up easiest. The ones connected to here, which you need to let things go through, and you need to keep your sanity and to keep feeling connected to your habit. Leave those ones for the end. The warrior one, this is the mind that is controlling actions. Now, what is key with part of giving up smoking is what you've created in doing smoking is rituals for the warrior. Now, if you hand roll your tobacco, this is the ritual. You pluck the tobacco from its pouch, you put it on the paper, you squeeze and roll, or maybe perhaps you add a filter. This movement has become ingrained in your warrior mind. You can do it subconsciously. You don't even need to see the tobacco. You don't even need, if you just smoke pre-rolled cigarettes, commercial cigarettes, you perhaps might be tapping the box on the table, or perhaps you flip one in the packets to be your lucky one. You tap, 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 you flick it in your fingers, and you have this action as well with the lighter. These actions you are also addicted to. They are physical habits your body is so used to doing on a daily basis that it needs to be preoccupied with new actions. So, when you are giving up those suggested cigarettes, one tip is, rather than having the thought-provoking, the thought-suggested cigarette, whilst you are accompanying your colleague or in your social smoking environment and you are satisfied, you've had yours, make sure you think of something new to do with your hands, a new ritual. This might be getting a fidget spinner, or simply playing with your keys, or spinning your rings, to make sure you cultivate new actions, new rituals, because your body still needs, the warrior still needs to do these things, and he's going to find it very difficult if he's not doing his normal thing, because he might have rolled you a cigarette before the mage has even thought about having one. So you need to make sure you accompany your hands, the ritual, whatever your ritual may be, and train the warrior to do another task. Now, perhaps in terms of timeline, let's be realistic. For me personally, it took me 12 months to go from full-time smoking to smoke-free, because I had waves where I tried one method and it didn't work, and I tried another and it didn't work, and I tried hypnosis and I tried the National Health Service, and these things didn't work for me until I really sat down and thought about why I enjoy cigarettes and which ones I'm giving up, and how I did go from 3 a day to smoke-free is to decide of the 3 then that I enjoy the most, which one is most dear to me. And for me, it was the one at the end of a long day's work. I would like to go out into the garden and have my moment. And I was content looking forward to this one moment of the day. And I didn't feel the need to smoke more than that, because I knew it was coming. So it was very easy for me to know, I can skip this one, I can skip this one, because I'm going to have the one that's dearest to me. And then it became a scenario where I was only having one a day. And then it became almost a bit of a burden, because I'd preoccupied my hands to do other things. And now, because I'm only doing this task and this ritual once, it became more of a burden to go out and buy the cigarettes, to get fresh tobacco, to get fresh papers, which usually dries out by the time I've got through to you just having one a day. And so it naturally became a thing that once I'd run out of my immediate supply, that it was a bit of a burden then to go and purchase new ones, because that was part of my ritual that I didn't enjoy. And so then naturally, as I got less and less tobacco and I was just having the one a day, it faded away and I had new habits and new rituals. Now, this method may not work for you. Everyone is different. I feel the need to share it with you because I think it is useful to understand that you are more than one person trying to ease yourself to smoke free. And you are not just one mind that's addicted, you are 3 minds. And in categorizing them, once you've written them down and written all the ones, decide which one is the warrior mind, which ones are the ones that are a habit of rolling or of getting a fresh box. Which ones are the mage mind cigarettes, and which ones are your hunter mind? Save the hunter mind to last, because these ones are the ones that are going to be helping these systems digest and other things. And once you've eased yourself off the non-essential ones and created a new warrior action, the hunter will soon follow the path of the mage and the warrior, and perhaps lead you to a smoke-free life. Now, I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you find this technique useful. I do encourage you to make a note and really focus on the feeling you have with each of the daily cigarettes that you are having, that you are consuming. Think about the loss of health. Think about replenishing natural manner over time, improving your mental clarity and being a stronger person, being able to enjoy more environments for longer. Smell comes back to you. Fresh air feels great. Your skin improves. So all these benefits as well to look forward to in your smoke-free lifestyle. It is not an easy journey. No. But again, if this helps you, or perhaps you have other tips you would like to share, please do type a comment, and hopefully I would like to encourage you to continue on your journey to a smoke-free lifestyle, and I hope you find your destination. Thank you.